It's WBPC, and I'm DJ Martelle, and with me is Wiggity Whack Randy from the Dirty, Dirty South of Circleville. What up, Randy?
Yo, what up? What are we doing right now? What is this?
I don't know. That's our new intro.
No, it ain't.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is not
Absolutely.
our intro. This is our anti-intro. This is what, if we were not us, this would be an intro. But
2019, baby. New format.
This can't be real. You're going to tank our show. We're going to lose all 22 listeners. Dude, you're doing the Dominic the Donkey dance. Stop.
Carlton dance.
Carlton never danced that way.
What up, Randy?
Not that music. I'm not digging that at all.
Not at all?
No, not even a little.
Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I am Martelle, and with me always is Randy. What up, Randy?
Another day.
Awesome. Welcome to 2019. How you doing?
It is. I'm tired, man. I am beat.
Beat.
Oh,
that beat right there was sick.
No, incorrect.
That was awesome.
Beats by Gay.
That
was awful.
That was amazing.
See, we have a black guy on the show, and look what happens.
I'm from Steubenville.
That explains nothing about what just went on in my ears. Anyway, it is 2019. It is a shiny, sunshiny day. Looks like Florida out there.
No, it looks nothing like Florida.
Yeah, it's all shiny, and there's leaves on the trees, and some of them.
And the grass is brown.
And it's muddy. And I wasn't even allowed to park in the grass because I'd get stuck probably.
It looks nothing like Florida.
Yeah, it's real muddy. I would rather have snow than mud.
I'd rather have snow than rain or mud in this.
Yeah.
In these months of the year.
Yeah, I agree. Most people get mad when I say that. I'm like, I don't like mud all the time.
So it's a known fact. I hate cold weather.
Right.
So, but if it's going to be cold, it might as well snow.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not snowing, so it should be warm. Should be warm.
I'm not bad today. Today is almost like for a fat guy, it's almost like an AC on in the car day.
No.
Drive with the window cracked a little.
No.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it's 41 degrees outside.
Yeah, you hit 50, windows down.
Nope. 70, 80, windows down.
Yeah. No, 80 is AC cranked.
No.
Cranked.
Nope.
Max AC.
Your opinion is wrong.
It's not an opinion, it's a fact. I'm fat, so I turn on the AC when it's 80. That's not an opinion. That's
Stop
just
eating
a fact.
Popeye's chicken.
Ooh, Popeye's chicken.
See?
With gallon bags of sweet tea.
That's disgusting. Anyway, how was your Christmas and New Year?
Oh, it was good, man.
Yeah?
First Christmas with 2 children. Judd he's now a little over 3 months old, and he didn't understand crap that was happening, so Huck got open 2 sets of gifts everywhere we went.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it was good. We did our Christmas, and then for the first time since Huck's been born, so I think it's been 4 years. We took him the first year. We went up to my grandparents outside of West Jeff and had the grandpa makes like the down home breakfast. He starts at 4 a.m. and
that's way too early.
Oh, dude, he does everything from scratch. Like they do cat head biscuits that are just like huge, and then he does the pork chops or whatever, and the red eye gravy, and then sausage gravy and eggs, and people bring stuff. And the cool thing is the family got so big that, and not everybody still comes anymore, but at one point we had 50-some people for a gift exchange.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, my parents had 5 kids. My grandparents had 5 kids, right?
Right.
Then they got married, and then they had kids, and
then their kids,
they started
and the kids,
kids,
and
so,
then like
yeah,
hamsters.
It got crazy. Yeah, we're like hamsters, all from the same cage.
Yeah,
because Kentucky.
That's
my drift. So yeah, Circleville's just northern Kentucky. It's like western West Virginia.
Right. Ohio.
West Virginia. Everything south of 70 is just northern Kentucky or West Virginia. Mm-hmm. Depends on which side of 23 you're on.
It's gross.
I don't disagree. I'm not even going to argue it. But yeah, we it's dwindled down smaller, but we do the white elephant because you can't buy like 50 gifts. It's just dumb. So get to where you buy a gift, you draw a number. You know how that game goes,
Yeah.
Well, it just got years back before we had Huck, it just got to where like half the people were buying gift cards. I was like, why are we doing this? And we're just swapping around gift cards. It's no fun. So I guess last year they started to where the gift had to be something you make or like a service you provide.
Okay.
So like a night of babysitting, maybe if it's a teenager in the game, or something like that. So I made a couple signs Beth and I put in, and stuff like that. So it was cool. Every gift was home. I actually won a gallon and a really nice Pyrex bowl thing.
A gallon of sweet tea
of sweet tea.
Popeye's
no,
chicken.
It was homemade, like handcrafted or whatever ice cream, which I put in my parents' freezer and I've not gotten since then. I keep forgetting it. I tasted it and that's all I've had. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. And then, really, it's more fun for the kids. I love watching Huck. He got so excited this year. I got to take my toboggan off. Too hot in here. So hot.
It is not even hot in here.
Dude, it's like at least 60 in here. I'm burning up. So
open a window and jump out.
I don't know if I can fit through that window.
You'll fit through that window. Jump out, though, so I can close it.
You're being mean in 2019. Tell me to jump out windows, and then you assault my ears with that garbage music.
Yep. 2019 is all
New
about
year,
being mean.
same you.
New year, be meaner.
So how was your holiday? Well, start with Christmas, I guess. I didn't go over New Year's, but how was your
Christmas was good. So Christmas was good. I left the office on December 18th, did a half day on December 19th, and didn't go back to work until January 5th.
That's not bad.
No, that was nice. So I did not spend a full day's worth of work in the office until this past week.
I did not have that luxury.
Which was beautiful. And then even then, I didn't have any work to do.
Even during I had 2 4-day weekends back to back, but each one of them I had to run an emergency call on. So I didn't even get...
That sucks.
Well, yeah, it's all right.
Then, so we went down. We spent the Christmas in Florida. Went down there.
With your sister?
With my sister.
Dude, I was thinking today on the way here, I should have sent you down. Like the day she left here, I should have went and bought some whole milk and just let it sit on my counter.
That's disgusting.
And
I would not have taken that with me.
Fine, I'll FedEx it.
That's gross. That is super disgusting.
You take it about halfway down to Florida, you hit a bump or something, and bust open in your vehicle.
I didn't drive. It would have busted open on the plane.
Oh, even better.
That's disgusting.
That's Samuel L. Jackson's next movie.
No.
Spoiled whole milk on a plane.
That would make me vomit. That'd make everybody on the plane vomit. That's an emergency landing. They've
ended up spending Christmas in Tennessee.
They've done landings on a plane for guys farting on planes.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what they would do for whole milk. Evacuate the plane with parachutes. Ugh.
Except they have like 3.
Shit, everybody's got to share.
Good luck. Hold on.
No, but we went down to Florida, spent the time down there, came back, spent time here.
So how did you do gifts for the girls? Did you order them and have them sent there?
Oh, we Amazon Primed everything down there.
Okay.
And then we take a big empty suitcase down. So we pack up one suitcase, and then we put that suitcase in another suitcase.
Gotcha.
In a bigger one, and then that becomes luggage.
Okay.
And then on the way back,
They're
the
full.
big suitcases, all the suitcases are full at that point.
Gotcha.
So we bring back stuff in the big suitcase. But we try to just do little things. It's a little jingle bell.
I found a jingle bell. Oh, wait, there's a string. See if there we go. Where was this during our Christmas episode?
I don't know. That broke off of one of Harley's somethings. The girls have been using my office as a playroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We've been spending a lot of time in here because I've been playing Red Dead Redemption.
Is that a new game you got?
That's a new game I got. It's not kid-friendly, but, man, I'm finding out just how different my girls are. Even more so than before.
As they watch you play?
As they watch me play this very violent
I've
Wild
some
West
clips
video game.
On YouTube, there's some things of people recording, if it's hilarious, and then they make a compilation.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize it, but I watched 22 minutes of funny parts of somebody else playing a video game, but I was laughing. So I was actually gifted a 52-inch TV and an Xbox One.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my uncle upgraded to a 70-inch and the Xbox One Plus a while back.
And you donated them
I was just like, oh, you should let me have your old one. Well, he texted me New Year's Eve, because we were going to go to their house New Year's Day for the Rose Bowl. But he texted me, he's like, you home? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm going to come over. And I was like, well, I'm taking a crap right now, so you might want to wait a few, because he only lives 2 minutes away. And then him and my aunt show up, and he's dragging in, she's carrying something. I couldn't tell what it was. And it was the Xbox and his old TV. He's like, they were just sitting at home. So now he's texting me is it hooked up yet? We need to play. We need to play Fortnite.
Good, because that leads to
That leads to no productivity.
Well, it leads to no productivity, but it also leads to
Babies.
Some things that are going to happen with the show.
Dude, here's the thing. I feel like this show, now granted, you're the producer and it's your house and your studio and your equipment, but I'm definitely the best looking. And I have the sexiest voice, I think. Oh, yeah. But now we have, I mean, it's debatable. That's just my opinion and it's right. But now we have new music, apparently, which I hate. What else is changing on our show for 2019? So, I feel like we've been on a good trajectory. We've been steadily climbing. We're getting new listeners that are, they're reaching out to me. And now you're just like, screw it. Let's just tank it.
Well, we're going to make a couple minor changes based on some feedback that I've been given.
From who?
From our listeners.
I feel like it's a listener.
No, so I sat with a couple of our listeners, and they've given us some feedback.
Was it your sister on Family Christmas?
No, my sister doesn't.
All right, so I'm open. I'm a new year, new me.
I've been told we need to do some more bourbon and beer reviews.
Well, not everybody drinks bourbon and beer. That's not what everybody comes for.
Well, no, I get that. So it doesn't mean we're going to do them every show.
Which I wouldn't mind if we did, but
so
we just need to do more. So basically, they just want to hear our opinions.
They want to hear our opinions on some of the bourbons and beers that we can get here in Ohio.
I've been told, hey, you guys should just get totally plastered and then record.
I've been told that one too, and I said that one's bad for Randy. That one's fine.
I'm not interested in that. I don't want to get plastered.
I said that one's fine for me because it's in my house.
Well, yeah, I got to drive home. Plus, I just don't. I'm
the drunk show.
There's so many of those out there already. And for me. Drinking just to get plastered. Like, it'd be funny for everybody else, but I'm the one that has to deal with it. Like, we have to buy the bourbon because we're not big enough for people to hand us stuff.
Oh, no. But we don't have to get plastered, but get in a nice buzz and then just bullshitting about stuff more so than really opening up, Randy.
Oh, I mean, I'm fairly open as it is.
Right.
What do you want to know?
I don't know. I don't want to know anything.
I'll show you.
Ooh. So,
all right. So more reviews is
requested. So more reviews. I've heard that we need to do the Urban Dictionary game more.
These people just want to see me get in trouble.
Right.
That's the comedic value for them.
So it's
let's see if we can get Randy kicked off the show on his own volition.
The Urban Dictionary game. They're like, you need to do that more. That's hilarious.
It is funny,
and it's more some people are astounded by the fact that I will come up with the stuff from Urban Dictionary without you seeing them.
Yeah, I don't get on Urban Dictionary ever,
and it's you coming up with the definition and almost being dead on in some cases for some of these things.
I feel like that is one of my greatest attributes, which is really sad. Is I am able to. This is going to sound so egotistical. So be it. It's Martelle's show. So
it is what it is.
I feel like I'm fairly quick-witted and sarcastic, and I feel I'm that way because growing up fat, you had to be.
You had to be.
Especially if you were in a rough public school system like I was. And, I mean, I got in a lot of fights as a kid, but they were kid fights, Not like I wasn't in the freaking worst school system in America, but kids pick on kids.
Yep.
And when you grow up fat, you have to learn how to take a punch. And you have to learn how to take an insult and flip it on somebody. Mm-hmm. So by now, I've just done it for 35 years.
You just get people to laugh at you and not laugh at you, but laugh with you, laughing at you.
Well, that's part of it, but I'm also really good at making other people. I can pick at people's insecurities. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear things on the Urban Dictionary game, I feel like the wit comes into it, but also the dirty-mindedness that I try to filter, but rarely happens. I feel like I've got this twisted mind. Like, here's an example today. And here's one of the things I'm going to try and do more in 2019. Speaking of being open and honest, I was thinking about this at church today. I want to try and be a better example of Christ to people. And that doesn't mean throwing a Bible. It just means not being an a-hole all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing more open to people. Just loving people. Just being cool to people really is what I want to try to do.
I'm going to try to do the complete opposite.
See, that's why we get... You're like the Marie to my Donnie. Or am I the Donnie to your Marie?
You're the water to my bourbon.
I'm the water to your bourbon. So they had these shirts that everybody was wearing, and they didn't get one fat enough for me, so I'm just wearing a plain black T-shirt right now. But it said, I Heart Heritage, the name of our church.
Okay.
Well, my buddy's wife came up to me, and the sentence she had said was, you're missing a heart on your shirt. or it was you don't have a heart on your shirt. But the moment she said you don't have a heart on, my mind just went boom, and I made a joke out of it right there as we're waiting for service to start. So I think the quick-wittedness and the dirty-mindedness that I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm good at Urban Dictionary game.
Hey,
so far I think I'm unbeaten. We've had people in here. I don't think
You haven't lost yet.
That's good.
You haven't lost yet. So
see, that's why you need me on the show. It's
right.
the one thing I've got going for me.
It's the only thing you have going for you.
I've been told that I have a beautiful, beautiful radio voice.
I know people have told me you have a great face for radio.
Oh, I've said that. Why do you think I grew a beard? Cover as much of it as possible.
So the other one is
And
more
cover all my
news,
chins.
more news stories, because they want to hear the commentary on our news.
I've got one.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do that here in a second.
And then what else? And then we just need to thank the listeners. Hey, thanks, listeners.
Do we not do that? I thought we did that at the end.
We do that all the time.
Oh, wait. Then why do we need to thank them again?
Because if it wasn't for them, all three of them.
Thanks, Mom. I'm going to start calling them. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Carrie. Like the ones I know listen. Thanks, Craig.
Sharon,
Craig.
Craig, and Mo.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mo. Mo and I are now Facebook friends official.
I saw that. I saw you commenting on some of his stuff.
Yeah, I think we're going on a date next month.
Oh, shit. Take him some bourbon. He likes bourbon.
So, okay. I mean, that's some good suggestions. I mean, if we already thank the listeners, they can all screw off.
So it's not it's not huge changes. It's stuff we already do. It's just doing
just want more of it.
It's doing more of the stuff we already do.
Well, let me say this to those listeners that you talk to. I appreciate that feedback because it's good to hear, hey, we really like this, or hey, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Like I just assume when somebody say, hey, that whatever you guys are doing, dumb.
No, we haven't gotten anything that says stop doing this. You guys suck. And if we did, I'd be like, all right, we'll ramp up the part that we suck at. We'll suck at it even more just to piss that person off.
We will suck harder.
We will suck harder.
With our heart on.
With our heart on our sleeves.
It's going to be a good year.
We are, right now, Randy and I both are currently having a smooth glass of bourbon.
We are.
We're having some
first review of 2019.
So I've had this bottle for a while. It's Jefferson's Reserve, very old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, very small batch. It is a mouthful to say that.
Well, quit trying to put the whole bottle in your mouth.
No.
Pour it into a glass.
No.
Trying to deep throat that thing.
It's 90 proof. It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
That is a smooth 90 proof.
It is a very smooth 90 proof. Now, we're both having it on ice. So
yes,
we're not doing it neat. We're not doing it with a hint of water. It is straight up on ice.
Well, and here's the thing too. When talking to guys about drinks, because some guys are beer guys or girls. They like beers.
Beer peoples.
They're beer women chesters, people chesters. I'm not huge into drinking beer. If I do, like I said, it's like a light beer, maybe with a steak, or with like street tacos or something. Habaneros.
Yeah, I saw your little argument with Greg the other day.
That wasn't an argument. That was playful bickering amongst taco
You've never
lovers.
had this place. I don't care.
I don't care. Can't be beat. So, a lot of guys, like bourbon guys, they're like, well, I try everything, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, I've had that. I like it on the rocks, or I like it neat or whatever. Everybody's got their preference. Like, oh, you drink it watered down, or you. Some bourbons are meant to have a splash of water.
All bourbons are meant to have a splash of water.
Right. So, but either way, and whatever, it can be rum, it can be whatever. But just like you asked me, how do I want to try it? Usually stuff that I've not had, I will try it neat. Mm-hmm. I will try it. I'll take a sip neat. I'll take a sip with a splash of water, and I'll take it on ice.
Okay.
I always prefer ice because I like it cold.
Well, see, and I will switch it up. I don't prefer it anyway, but I will just switch it up. Like if someone asks me, like, "Hey, oh, you want a glass of this? You want a glass of that?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me. I'll take it neat today. Oh, I'll take it as a Manhattan. Oh, I've never had that.
Yeah,
I'll take it neat, but I want it neat this time." But have some water or ice ready because I'm going to take a sip neat and then I'm going to add water to open it up.
Yeah.
And that's just whenever I've never had something before because I want to taste it in every different way that I can try it.
If you go out to eat somewhere that's middle to higher end restaurant and you go to order a drink, you order an old fashioned.
And they
ask, what type, because you can get old fashioned made with several different kinds of liquors, but it's traditionally made with bourbon or whiskey.
Well, that depends on where I go. If they have
Right.
So if it's going to be, let's say, like a whiskey bar,
Okay.
and they have a bartender there that knows their way around,
Knows what they're doing.
I'm going to let that bartender make an old fashioned how they make an old fashioned.
Perfect answer.
But what I don't want is when I order an old fashioned and it's made with vodka, cream, and some other bullshit, and they go, well, this is how we make an old fashioned.
Well, here's one worse. So I went to, it was some restaurant. I wasn't a bar, it was a restaurant. And I went to order one drink. I thought, I'm going to have one drink with my meal. I'm going to sip on it. And I like an old fashioned. I feel like it's a good drink. It's a classy drink, I guess. I don't know, but I ordered an old fashioned. And I asked the girl, because she kind of looked at me. I was at a Roosters.
An old fashioned is the original cocktail.
Right. The original. If you know the history, if you don't Google it, or I guess we can maybe link it. Martelle does that stuff. But it is so I ordered an old fashioned. The girl kind of looked at me and I said, okay, hold on. Do you know how to make an old fashioned? She said, you know what? I'm still pretty new as a bartender. I'm sorry I don't. And I said, that's fine. I would rather you tell me that than try and Google and make it. But she said, if you can wait a few minutes, so-and-so knows how to make them. There's nothing more frustrating to me than the bartender. Like I always used to watch Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
And people order an old fashioned or a Manhattan or whatever. And bartenders would either say, we don't do that because they didn't know, or they'd look it up on their phone and then try and mix it. And it was never right. You've got to know what you're doing. I have a good friend that is a very, very good bartender. And he spoiled me in a good sense. I guess it's not spoiling, but he kind of very early on helped me to understand that not all drinks are mixed equally.
No.
You can have really good drink made really poorly by an uninformed, quote-unquote, bartender that hasn't ever been trained.
Well, if you add too much bitters, it's going to overpower everything. Everything has to be...
Or if you use vodka cream in an old-fashioned, that's not correct.
Well,
now, if somebody wants it that way, like a special drink, that's fine, but don't say this is how we make it and give it to everybody.
Right. I was just throwing that out there as a, some places do this is how we do this type of omelet. And it's like, well, that's not how you do a Western omelet.
Yeah.
Type
I
of,
can eat any omelet.
But it's, an old fashioned is an old fashioned. It's
right.
It's the same set of ingredients every time. Now, if you want to smoke it with, there are now different techniques that people are doing now, where they're smoking the glass, they're smoking this, they're doing that with wood chips, and
which
which changes it up quite a bit. But
and see what I'll do in a place that's going to smoke a glass, you're usually in a little bit of a nicer place. So if I'm at a place where I know they've got trained bartenders, I will ask, what drinks do you have that are special to y'all? Like, what do you have here that I can't get anywhere else? And then I'll try something new like that. But that shows me that I've got a good bartender that knows what they're doing. Kind of like you said, it's an art. So I'm going to trust that artist. I don't go to somebody that tattoos black and white portraits all the time and ask them for a traditional Japanese tattoo. Can they do it? Yeah, but are they the best at it? Probably not.
No.
So if I'm going to a bartender says, oh, you want an old fashioned, I can do that, but I could do this if you want to try it. And I go, interesting, let's give it a shot. So I like to be in a place like that. When you go to an Applebee's, to a Roosters, to wherever where they have a bar, you don't always get that. Sometimes you do. But sometimes it's more of most people that go to that kind of place are the people that order a beer on tap for $2 on Thursdays, or whatever. So,
they get Miller Delights and
right.
Bud Heavies and Bud Lights.
So a place like that, I tend to just like, I don't know.
Dive bars like that you're not ordering. You're not getting.
Well, they're more restaurants than dive bars. Dive bars, you never know what you're getting there. You're probably getting nothing but light beers and herpes. But the
digital herpes.
the other thing I was going to say. That's where I was going to go. When you go to a restaurant, that's more of a chain restaurant. They always ask you want well bourbon or top shelf.
Not in every case. So
no, not every. But what differs is the definition of top shelf from place to place.
Right. So, like an instance of that would be, you go to Max and Irma's. Max and Irma's, you're just ordering beer. And
it's like a middle tier restaurant, decent food.
But if you go, but on the same line as Max and Irma's, I would put I think it's Rusty Bucket.
Yeah.
Rusty Buckets, they're along the same
Pretty close.
line of what they are. They're a chain restaurant. They're here in Central Ohio. I don't know if they're outside of Central Ohio or not.
I don't know.
But the owner of Rusty Bucket goes down to Woodford and hand selects barrels, has them bottled, and shipped to his own store, to all of his restaurants. Yes, and it's called Gary's Pick.
Interesting.
So he has his own pick of bottles, I think, every year, and it's like Gary number 7, Gary number 8, Gary number 9.
Gary.
So he does his own bottle selection or barrel picks for
That's very interesting.
Woodford Reserve.
There you go, folks. You wanted more reviews and things to learn about bourbon?
You have been knowledgeified
By a podcast that was opened up with some garbage hip-hop track.
Funk, thank you.
Whatever.
West Coast funk.
You done funked up our intro.
No, I didn't.
Gross.
Amazing.
We need to have a vote. Old intro versus new.
It was awesome.
Anything that makes you dance the Dominic the Donkey dance is not awesome.
We should get that on video.
I'm going to bring in my GoPro and just set up in front of you. So So I guess we should give our opinion on the Jefferson's Reserve. Here, Jefferson's Ocean was first.
That's your favorite.
It's my all-time favorite.
Let's just cut to the chase. It's your favorite.
It is. We talked about it before, so I won't go in depth, but look up Jefferson's Ocean. A buddy of mine had me up, said I was gifted this bottle. It's really good. I want you to try it. So he poured me a glass, and I'm drinking it. Cool. We're talking about it. He's like, yeah, they put the barrels on the...
They put it on a boat.
On a boat. These people go around and track sharks and help sharks and all this, and then they bottle it. Cool.
Now, I was under the impression that when they put it on a boat, it was like a boat, like a Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria.
No. An old wooden ship, Diversity?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's just a boat.
Yeah, a boat is a boat. You are correct.
A metal, fiberglass, steel flotation device that people can stand on and harpoon.
Not a dinghy.
They can harpoon sharks.
They don't harpoon them; they help them
right in the fin to track them. I was really hoping that it was more along the lines. How many of those you think
are out there right now?
What, old wooden ships
that are being cruised around the world on the regular?
Probably a couple hundred.
All sails.
Probably a couple hundred.
No way, not that big.
They don't have to be that big.
Nah, I don't believe you.
But I'm sure there's probably a couple hundred like old school wooden boats.
I've seen them
that are out there sailing.
Not ships.
I said boats.
Yeah, but you're talking you have to cross the ocean.
No one said cross the ocean.
That's where the bourbon we're talking about went, though.
But out there.
Anyway, so on each flight,
set sail
on each
a barrel.
Voyage, not flight. Each Jefferson's Ocean voyage, you get voyage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah blah. And it tells you can go online and see what ports they went to around the world. So each Jefferson's Ocean's a little bit different. So it's kind of unique in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd never had Jefferson's Reserve, though, because Jefferson's Ocean, you can find it usually, if you can find it, it's about $75 to $100.
Yeah.
Depending, which is pretty steep. I mean, you're Blanton's Range, you're above Woodford and Nom Creek in this at that point.
You're getting into the Whistle Pigs and the and the
so that's what I consider,
that's
what I consider top shelf. That's more high end. And I loved it. I've never had the Reserve until just now, and I would have never guessed it was 90 proof. This is an amazingly smooth.
It is very smooth
bourbon. So what's the price point on this? Do you remember?
I think I paid $40 for it.
Oh, that's a beautiful bottle for $40 to $50.
And it came with a tin.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, super fancy. I bought it for the tin.
Now you have a tin.
I went old school, like when you used to be able to get tins of cookies.
Kind of like you bought the Stillhouse for the gas can?
Yep.
And it tastes like gasoline?
It tastes
I haven't
like
had that yet either.
You're not getting any of that. I'm gonna white elephant that shit.
Hey, we got to do reviews, man. The people want reviews.
I am not drinking. I sipped on that. Ugh.
Nope, we got to do
That's
reviews.
bad. We're not drinking it.
Just like we got to do those cheeseburger Oreos.
We're not doing cheeseburger Oreos.
Hey, if you get to change up the music, I get to pick the food.
No.
That's the way this marriage is going to work.
So that was the other thing. People thought that shit was funny, but they didn't want to hear any more of that.
But see, here's the thing. It gets reactions.
They didn't want to hear any more of it.
I disagree because I heard the opposite.
They were like, yeah.
I have people send me stuff like, you all should eat this.
I got the, don't do that again. We don't want to see that. I almost vomited watching that video.
Well, hey, tits for tats, man.
Get some tits and some tats.
I've got both.
I know.
You are being mean in 2019.
New resolution.
So it's almost like you never changed.
I know.
Yeah, I would say, we need. I think donuts is our de facto rating system now.
It should be. It can be.
All right,
and I
we rate
picture
donuts.
the Simpsons donut.
I was just about to say that with the pink icing,
with the pink
sprinkles.
icing and the sprinkles.
Yeah. So what would you rate this? If 5 is the absolute best, so for you that's Blanton's.
Blanton's is my favorite, but it's not the best.
Which is weird to me. How do you have a favorite? So there's some that you think are better than Blanton's.
Oh yeah,
prefer Blanton's.
Yes, I prefer Blanton's.
We'll have to have that discussion sometime.
Right. So which is really going to kick some people right in the nuts. Because
I like Blanton's. I don't think
I
it's
like
the
Blanton's. I don't think it's the best.
Which angers people for some reason. Like, if you don't like Blanton's, then you don't know what you're talking about, or I hate you and I want you to die. And
one of the reasons
pee on your
think I prefer Blanton's, and it's one of my favorites. It is not my favorite. It is one of my favorites. Two Bitch out of Nevada, like big ups to Two Bitch.
Yeah, still haven't had it.
You'll get some eventually.
I have to be nice.
You have to be super nice to get that because.
Oh, nice to you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm way nice to you. You're the jerk.
I know. You have to be like super duper nice to me to get that because
I'm not giving you a reach around for it. Unless you ask nicely.
You're gonna have. I don't ask nicely for things. I take what I want. I think I forgot how to take a reach around, but
sorry if you're listening.
Two Bitch is probably Two Bitch and Virgil Caine are honest to God are like up there with.
So you think those two are better than Blanton's, but you prefer Blanton's?
They are up there with my favorites. I think they are absolutely better than Blanton's. 100%. The reason that I go for Blanton's more so than Virgil Caine or Two Bitch is because I can't get Virgil Caine or Two Bitch on the regular.
Right. Blanton's is hard enough around here.
Blanton's is hard enough to get here in Ohio. I can't get Two Bitch or Virgil Caine in any of the states touching Ohio or any of the states touching the states touching Ohio.
What about any of the states reaching around Ohio?
I can't even get it from one of the states giving the states a reach around.
Weird.
So like Two Bitch is only available I think in Nevada and California.
Oh, that's way out there.
Yeah, so it's a long distance reach around for that one. And Virgil Caine is only available in North and South Carolina and Georgia.
Not as bad.
Not
still
as
far.
bad, but
like
still
you're not
far.
By the way home from work.
Like the one bottle that I just got, my buddy picked up on his way, and we'll be doing a review on that. Either you and I, or I may just do a quick pour with Jeff, and him and I will have a quick.
What about me, you, and Jeff? Don't cheat on me.
Well, you only want to record on
Am
Sundays.
I going to be on the show in 2020?
I don't know. That's 300 and what's this today? 60 days away. 64 days. 60. 70.
Not next week. Next week we're recording on Saturday. But anyway.
So, but Jeff and I've turned Jeff on to Virgil Caine, and Jeff is a bourbon drinker, and he turned his dad on to Virgil Caine. I think so.
Oh, well, shout out to Jeff then.
He will be after this. But
right.
Jeff turned his dad on to Virgil Caine. His dad lives in South Carolina.
Jeff turned his dad on
to Virgil Caine.
Oh, okay. See how my mind stops listening. At
you
certain
stopped.
Points? Like hard on, turn dad on, and it's just my brain just immediately when keywords hit, my brain just takes off on this trajectory where I have to make a dirty
You have
joke.
to continue to listen to words.
No, that's not as fun.
I know, but
then I'd be bad.
That's called conversation.
Boring.
So Jeff's dad now drinks Virgil Caine because I told
he lives
Jeff,
down there, so
and he lives down there, so he can get it constantly.
That's good.
So, but when I told...
Now, was his dad a bourbon drinker prior?
Yes.
Okay, what were Jeff's and Jeff's dad? We'll call him Mr. Jeff. What were their bourbons of choice before this? Do you know?
think Jeff's is Old Forester. I don't know what about
Never
Jeff's
had
dad.
that.
I haven't either. So, I keep walking by, and I keep...
That's like a middle shelf, isn't it?
No.
Is it high end?
It's... they put it on the middle shelf, but it's more of a higher end.
Is it? Okay. I was going to say, everybody
they have
thinks
a couple
top shelf
different...
means where they put it on the rack in the store. That's not always true.
That's not always true.
It really depends on what liquor store.
No, there is a low budget Buffalo Trace bourbon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Called like High 8 that no one knows about.
What, High 8 or Benchmark number 8?
Maybe it's Benchmark number 8.
Oh, I've had Benchmark.
That's Buffalo Trace.
Benchmark is?
That is what Buffalo Trace considers their shitty batch that comes out that they don't want to label as Buffalo Trace.
So I think here's what we should do. We should do, obviously, bourbon reviews are good, but we're going to have to take some low shelf ones.
We can hit them all.
Even Stillhouse?
No. Because Stillhouse
That's not all
isn't.
of them.
It's not a bourbon. It is a straight up moonshine whiskey.
What happens if we run out of bourbon to review?
We will not run out of bourbon to review. Trust me. I got 29 bottles downstairs. I have another. We have 30 bottles downstairs. I have another bottle coming.
Bottles and 2B is one. Well, it's actually a couple, I think.
No,
I gotta say 2B. So
I've got another bottle coming. I've got E.H. Taylor coming mid this month. Never had it. I've got my Infinity bottle downstairs.
I'm excited for that to get finished.
It's done now.
Oh, I thought you had to wait till it get like topped off.
No. We can taste it now.
Whatever, and then you just add to it.
You just add to it as we go. So
Gotcha.
I've got an Infinity bottle started. It's 3/4 of the way full.
Explain Infinity bottle. In case
An Infinity bottle is basically a decanter. It's an empty decanter or an empty bottle. You can start with anything that you want. I started with, I'd have to look it up. I started with 6 bottles that I had some left in.
And it's when you get down to like around like a shot's worth left or so.
It's when you get
to where you just,
in some cases it's less than a glass, less than 2 ounces in some cases.
Right.
I did a little more when I had some stuff sitting around.
It kind of clears out room into your cabinet too.
It clears out room in your cabinet. I did not mark how much I had of each one. I just marked what I put in and the date that I put it in. So I did all these on November 26th. I did Lead Slingers, Still Right Bourbon, 1792, Russell's Reserve Single Barrel, Buffalo Trace, Rabbit Hole, and some Chavez Regal Scotch.
Okay, you just named 7 if I counted right, and I've had one of those.
Yeah. So and they were all pretty much down to about a glass's worth, except for the Still Right.
Okay.
Now, Still Right, I'm sorry, guys. Your stuff is good. It's not great. I wasn't a big fan of...
Well, we're going to have to do reviews for the air of some of these because I've not had any of these.
Well, a lot of these I'm not going to go back out and buy. Well, the Lead Slingers I'll go back and buy. The 1792 I'll buy again.
Now, here's something
the Russell's
I'll put
Reserve.
out there.
A Buffalo Trace, I have another bottle downstairs.
Yeah,
Rabbit Hole is
Trace.
fucking amazing.
Never had Rabbit Hole. We talked about it. I've never had it.
That was the first F-bomb I think I dropped the whole show.
How far in are we?
We are like 37 minutes in.
Dude, new year, new you.
And you know what's funny? My buddy Corey, he's like, been listening to the show. You know, he shared it. He shared an episode. He's like, don't try to turn this into a drinking game. You'll die. He's like, if you take a shot every time Martelle says an F-bomb, you will die.
Oh, yeah. There's no way. It's an hour episode, and you had like 30-something that one time.
Well, no, there was over the one show we did. Wow, we went off on that. So the one show I did, I think there had to have been like 100 and some in the one show.
Oh my goodness!
It was the one show where we like gave shout outs to everybody and
the Lowe's one.
Oof.
Yeah,
yeah. That's
the one that got the most listened so far. I think
it did. But anyway,
listen back.
A lot of these I would rebuy.
Well, here, let's do this then. If there is a bourbon that you would like us to give an opinion on, feel free to send us a couple glasses worth. Get with us. We'll meet up with you. We don't expect people to give us whole bottles.
I don't expect whole bottles, but you can actually, we can do samples. Well, if you want to send us samples, I will be more than happy to accept samples. Except I will tell you which bottles. There are little sample bottles you can buy. I will send out a link for you
sealed bottles
to purchase a sample bottle from Amazon to purchase
and send to us.
I'm not going to just take it in like a pee bottle.
Here's an old urinal from the hospital.
I'm not going to do that.
I swear it's good bourbon.
I'm not going to accept bedpans or anything like that.
I meant more. Okay, the people that are close to us that know us that we could get to easily enough someday. If they say like, "Hey, I've got a little bit of this, just for conversation sake, Jefferson's Ocean. I want you to do a review on it." If it's somebody I know and trust, I'd get that. But if they're going to mail it to us and we don't really know them and trust them, yeah, I'm not taking unsealed anything.
No,
I just won't. I don't.
Well, no, and those things I will. I mean, I'm a pretty trusting person in most cases, and there are. I mean,
some of the people I know I don't trust. Some of my best friends I would not trust to send me a bourbon to try.
You're sitting in a room with one of them.
No, I'd trust you.
Aw.
New year, new me.
Okay, good for you.
No, bad for me, I think.
You didn't see what I did to that glass before I poured that bourbon in it.
Salty.
I stuck my hand down my pants.
You made Jefferson's Reserve taste
I'm
like
not telling you
Jefferson's
if it was the front or the back.
Salty.
Mm-hmm.
Did it look like a school project for a Native American longhouse when you got done?
It may have. Anyway, so we're gonna do, but we'll do something on the Infinity bottle. Like we can do maybe a once a month. No, we can't do it once a month
No, I'm not like once a quarter.
It's going to have to be longer than that because I don't add to it that often.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it'll just be the same.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we're going to do a review on the exact same thing we did a month ago.
It still tastes the same. Great.
Guess what? It's the same.
It's the
it
same.
changed.
But anyway, back to this Jefferson's Reserve bottle that we haven't given an opinion on yet.
How many donuts?
I'm going to go ahead and give it 3.5. I know that may seem kind of low out of 5.
Well, I don't think it is though.
But it's not. So on
that's 7 out of 10. That's 70%. That's good.
So it's very much if on the nose when you're smelling it, it is very much has a very sweet smell to it, almost like a brown sugar and cinnamon smell to it,
which I love.
Which is good. It's very smooth. It has on the when you're drinking it, especially now, mine is super watered down. It's almost it's to the point where you can't taste the bourbon anymore. Right. But it has a brown sugar, a cinnamon taste to it.
Yeah, I got a little touch of like a caramely.
There's some caramel in the background. I'm not picking up anything floral.
I'm not at all on this.
And I'm really bad at tasting, so I'm trying to
Here's the thing with
make
our
my
reviews.
way through it.
I read bourbon reviews for fun. Like
I don't, because I can't taste. So my issue is my taste buds are shot to shit from eating so much hot food and
mine
like
are from
hot
smoking
sauce.
cigarettes for 10 years back in the day. Like my nose and my taste bud stuff have been permanently altered from that. A lot of it came back when I quit, and I haven't smoked in. Hey, it's been 10 years this year I quit smoking.
Hey, congratulations.
So, well, I still occasionally have a tobacco pipe, but I don't inhale. But I'm not smoking a pack of Marlboros every day
Well,
either.
that's good.
So I know my tastes are different. I like tasting something and forming an opinion, and then I'll look it up and see
what you got out of it.
What professionals say, you know. And a lot of my thoughts tend to align with what I read, but sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I didn't get that at all. So when we do reviews for y'all, this is very much a blue collar, just kind of a grassroots.
What we got out of it,
guys. This is what we think about it. So take it for what it's worth. Now, our buddy that listens, Greg, shout out to him. He tried Weller's based on our us talking about it, and the Weller's Reserved he really liked for 20. What was it? $22 a bottle.
$22 a bottle here in Ohio.
He's like, this is so smooth. I said, it is. Well, he messaged me. It was New Year's Eve or Friday night or something. Maybe it was this past Friday. He said, have you had the Weller's 107? The Antique 107? I said, yeah, I actually prefer the 107. And he said, well, I just got some. I said, cool, let me know what you think. Well, later that evening, he sent me a message, and he said, it's got a little more bite to it. It's really good and smooth, but I prefer the Reserve. The Reserve's smoother. And I said, I agree. So you got to understand that when we give reviews.
Want some more?
No, not at all.
Okay.
When we give
Don't
reviews,
have any then.
This is very much our opinions as we see it. Is it worth the price that we pay? Do we feel we got a good value? Do we like the flavor? Do we hate the flavor? Do we like the burn? Do we hate the burn? Is there, is it smooth? So our reviews are really just like anybody else's. In all honesty, it's just our opinion.
It's just an opinion, yeah.
Because I read some of those professionals, and one will say it's got a real strong florally taste, and the other one will be like, there's no floral to it. And these are two people that do it for a living,
right? And I'm going to be honest, like I've never had a bourbon where I've tasted anything floral coming out of it.
I haven't either. I haven't yet to understand what they mean by that.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to, at some point, I'm going to have to make a trip down to, and I think I am making a trip down to the Bourbon Trail with some buddies here in the spring. So maybe I'll get to hit a tasting and learn how to do that.
How to kind of denote what they mean.
So they can explain what here's your floral tasting versus your caramel, your cinnamons, your baking spices versus this, that, and the other that you're catching on the back end versus the nose
and that caramely that you get from the oak barrel and the
and the oak and the cherry versus this, that, and the other. Because like I said, I don't catch any of that. There was one, I can't remember exactly which one it was I was talking about that I caught a burn, but it wasn't the burn of the bourbon. It was like a pepper. Like a peppery burn.
Like a habanero type burn?
Kind of, but
not that flavor. But
not that flavor, but it was more like a pepper
spicy
burn. Like a spicy burn on the tongue.
Okay. You don't remember what that was?
But I don't remember which one it was. And
that's interesting.
I was like, I said, oh, this one's spicy. And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm catching that spice off the taste of that. But it's not it's not the burn like you would get like
like a high proof alcohol where
like
it
a high
just hurts all the way down.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was very much a ooh.
Like that's different.
That's
like,
different. That's got a nice spice to it. So,
and I've seen different liquors of all varieties that have like habanero in it or this pepper.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that. I don't.
So most of the main distilleries out there don't get too like they're getting creative. They're getting creative with what they're trying
to do.
They don't
get kitschy with it.
But they're not getting kitschy. They're not getting
to draw
niche-y.
people in with weird stuff.
No, definitely not. I mean, the Ocean's Reserve is kind of that's a niche-y thing. They're like, oh well, we're going to send this out on a
Jefferson's
boat.
Ocean. Yeah, it kind of is.
They're
you get a little bit of that sea salt in it. I think
I just see it. I didn't taste any sea salt.
But the other thing is, I had Voyage 4 the first time I had it. So 3 or 4.
I don't know which Voyage I had.
My buddy.
It may have been 7.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
7. I think now they're on. I don't even know what they're on. I haven't followed them. I haven't bought a bottle since I first tried it. But
so as part of that, I've had people tell me that wheated bourbon and ryes are a little harsher to them, or a wheated bourbon is harsher to them than a rye. And I think a wheated bourbon is sweeter than a rye.
I think it's typically sweeter for me.
That's what I think. So, but that's like someone eating cilantro and going, "Oh, this tastes good," and me going, "Oh, that tastes like soap."
Yeah,
because I think cilantro tastes like soap.
Especially because there are a lot of people that want to get into. I have people message me and say, "Hey, you like bourbon?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they'll ask questions. Now, I'm not a bourbon aficionado, but I know a little bit.
Yeah, so I get them all the time.
So they start saying, "Okay, well, what's the difference between bourbon and whiskey?"
There is no difference,
right? You get those questions, which there's a difference, but it's
bourbon is a whiskey.
Whiskeys aren't a bourbon.
Typically, yes.
Right. So it's the percentage of rye or wheat or corn can make different drinks different names.
Right.
But I mean, right here, Jefferson's Reserve, it says very old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It says it right on their bottle.
It's a bourbon whiskey.
And it's a bourbon whiskey.
But a Kentucky bourbon can only come out of Kentucky.
Exactly.
A bourbon, you can make a bourbon anywhere. But a Kentucky bourbon, it can't be called a Kentucky bourbon unless it comes out of Kentucky. So they can't make a bourbon in Arkansas, bottle it and barrel it in Kentucky and call it a Kentucky bourbon.
So maybe what we need to do, because of things like Jefferson Ocean and different kinds, like this reserve, it's batch number 331, and this is bottle number 06312, so 6,312.
Yep.
Out of that batch 331. So another batch may be slightly different.
Oh, I'm most certain that it is. Every
bottle
barrel
in this batch
is
should be pretty similar. Like the average Joe, like you and I, would not be able to differentiate between bottle 112 and bottle 6,042 or whatever. No. But every batch should be a little different. So when we review these, we probably need to make sure we tell them what batch it is, and maybe we need to start looking up the actual content so we can tell our listeners this one is 51% wheat and whatever.
Well, they should all be so that particular bottle, like that batch, it should be the same mash bill.
Right, but I'm saying for different bourbons, not different batches.
Gotcha.
So when we go from Jefferson's to Whistle Pig to Nika to whatever, tell them.
Nika is going to be a whole different
exactly. So
ball
if we go from a wheat bourbon to a rye, we need to explain to them. So okay, we think this one has a little more burn, or this one's a little sweeter. They can go, oh, okay,
gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if we're going to do reviews. I think we should do our due diligence and give the best we can. So
we can attempt it.
Yeah, that means you got to do the research.
Right.
That's why you got to pick the intro music.
That's why I got to attempt it.
So, yeah, no, this is good, though. You give it 3.5 donuts?
Yeah, I give it 3.5 donuts.
If I'm saying Ocean is 5 as my all-time favorite and best, which I would put a lot up there with that.
So keep in mind that that mash bill for this is more than likely Ocean is probably that same stuff,
right?
Or close to. It was just thrown in a barrel top, put on a fiberglass boat with a steel frame, and then sent on an ocean for 9 months.
I think. Oh, actually, I think they say that's what it is. We take our bourbon and we just put it on a boat.
Yeah. So it's the same stuff.
Well, what I was going to do,
and they sprinkle some salt in it.
And maybe I should have my notepad and write it down so I can't cheat and change my mind. I was going to give this 4 out of 5.
Okay. Before
I even heard what you said, I think your 3.5 is very fair. But for me, I think this is a little bit better than some others in the same price point. So I'm kind of trying to gauge, for $40 to $50, I'm looking at the Woodfords, the Knob Creeks, Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. See, now I don't know. I honestly, I have nothing to gauge what a 5 would be at this point.
Well, five. I think five for you would be like Virgil Cane. It's like what do you think are the best?
But that's the thing, though. I've got five bottles of Virgil Cane downstairs,
And they're five completely different types.
Completely different types.
Those could all be fives, though, if you think they're all that good. Or say four of them are fives, and the other one you think is only a 3.5.
And
that's fine.
And one of them is unopened because I just picked it up.
Right.
So the Ash Cat is would definitely be a 4. I don't have to go down and have another glass. It's definitely a 4.
We'll save it, though. We might review that.
Well, we probably will.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not give away all our donuts today. Spill our donuts on the air. I would say for this, if somebody's looking for...
I'll just drop a whole box. A dozen donuts.
It does. I think out of 5, we got to stay at... We got to cap it. We can't be doing that like... I hate when people say, give 110%. That's impossible. People can't give 100% almost.
I'm going to take your 10. You only give 90. And I'll give 110.
No.
All right.
No.
So you're giving 4 donuts on
I say 4 donuts on this. I'm actually looking up... Because I've seen this in the store before, but I don't remember the store I go to.
Well, you usually see it in the bottle. I don't know that they're doing the tin anymore.
No, I typically see the bottle.
Yeah, it's the bottle.
So this here is right around Jefferson's, the very
is it
old,
$50?
Very small batch. Yeah, you're looking about $50.
$50, yeah.
Okay, so yes, I would say for $50 for the price. If you're looking to get into something that's very smooth, it is a 90 proof, 90.2 actually. I would say this is a good buy.
It's a good buy, yeah.
4 out of 5 star donuts for me, for sure.
Okay.
Stars are so dumb. Donuts are way better.
I love donuts.
So yeah, I would say this is a good one. If you're looking for something new to try, if you've liked our recommendation before with the Wellers or whatnot, I would say go ahead and splurge on this. If you don't like the price point, if you're cheap like me, this will be your special occasion one for $50 because you're drinking Wellers for $22. You know?
Oh yeah, this is
or
definitely,
you're drinking Benchmark for $8 a bottle.
This is if you're a tight ass and you're cheap as hell, this is definitely a splurge. I mean, this is
$50 a bottle. I mean, $50 a bottle is a lot for people that aren't into bourbon, aren't into.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like I said, think about it for a minute. I mean, I've got 30 bottles sitting downstairs.
You got a nice collection.
And that's an average. And this is by no means. I mean, I'm in a bourbon club, and these guys are splurging on $100, $200 bottles.
Yeah, they're buying
$300 bottles. They're buying expensive shit. And I like my cheap bottles. Don't get me wrong. Like I have $100 cap on a bottle. So I am by no means going out and spending a shitload of money on bottles, and my most expensive bottle is $87. I haven't broke that $100 bottle yet.
Okay.
So, but I have 29, 30 bottles downstairs on the average $50 a bottle. So you figure out the math at $30 a bottle.
Yeah,
or I'm sorry,
you're talking
$50 a bottle at 30 bottles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money I've got sitting down there just to.
You're talking like $7 at least.
Yeah.
No, you're talking $1,500 worth of bourbon down there.
Right, just sitting down there.
Not counting what you've had in the past,
Right,
so.
all the empties I've got sitting down there. So, and one of those bottles is like I said was $87 for the one bottle.
The thing I love about a good bourbon, like Jefferson's Reserve,
and I've only bought one shitty bottle in.
Is that the Still House?
And that was the Still. And I don't want to call it a shitty bottle.
I think we need to do a reserve on it. I think it would be.
Well, I don't have any more. That's the problem. It's in the Infinity bottle now. But I don't want to call them...
The Still House?
The Still Right.
Still Right. I'm talking Still House.
Well, the Still House was bought as a gag. I was trying to get other people to drink it.
I think we need to review the bad ones, too, to let people know. Not today, obviously, but...
I ain't drinking that shit today.
No. I'm saying...
But I'm not a big moonshine person. It is moonshine.
Oh, is it? It's shine? I
yes.
thought it was a bourbon. Okay.
No. It is a whiskey, which moonshine is whiskey.
I'm going to bring some shine for us to try.
I may turn it if I don't get rid of it, because I was debating on trying to get some people together and doing a white elephant in July.
Yeah, Christmas. Let's do it. I'm in.
So
Christmas in July.
I may do a Christmas in July.
Bring a really nasty liquor.
But I was going to give it away as a white elephant in July. But if I don't get rid of it, then I may just turn it into apple pie. Just one.
Yeah, there you go.
Mason jar of apple pie.
Do it. Well, that's the thing, and that goes back to the restaurant thing. If I ask for a Manhattan at a Roosters,
I wouldn't ask for a Manhattan at Roosters, but I get what you're going.
Or people ask for rum and Coke, bourbon and Coke, whiskey and Coke, whatever. A lot of people say, I want a Jack and Coke. You get a Jack and Coke, you pay for the Jack name, which at a restaurant's way too expensive, in my opinion.
Right.
The well liquors are typically not any different in flavor when it's mixed. So when I get a mixed drink that's not a Manhattan, that's not a classic cocktail, I will get whatever the well is.
Right. Well, and bear in mind, a lot of the stuff that I have downstairs are not, quote, mixers.
Oh, no, not at all.
They are not. If I catch anybody taking anything that I have downstairs,
I would love to see somebody mix some of your Virgil cane
and put a fucking Coke with that. They're getting punched. They're getting punched in the face and thrown out.
I bet it would be the best bourbon and Coke out there.
It probably would be, but they're still getting punched in the face.
It would be a complete waste of good bourbon.
It's a waste of my time, a waste of my money. It's an insult.
It is an insult.
It's an absolute insult.
And that's another thing. I know I'm not going to call anybody out by name because I don't know if they want to be called out by name. And if you're listening to this and thinking,
but let's call them George because that's their name.
Because that's their name. If you're thinking you know who I'm talking about, believe me, it's not them. But I have had a few people say, "Hey, I really want to be able to get into just having something when I'm out socially at work because I get left out of conversations." And they want something mild. They're not looking to get drunk.
That's fine.
Which if you're out with work people, you shouldn't be. I mean, unless you got to ride home, be responsible. But
right.
They're like, I just want to be able to have a cocktail that doesn't burn, that tastes good, and is classy. If I'm going out for a business meeting or whatever,
Manhattan or an old fashioned.
Manhattan, old fashioned. Those are my two biggest recommendations. But I said, if you get it, because some of them say I want to get into bourbon. I just, it's kind of like smoking a pipe. Somebody sees you smoke a tobacco pipe, they're like, man, that's such an old school, cool kind of thing. If you can order a good,
sophisticated,
right,
dignified,
which is weird because I am not.
But you're neither one of those things.
No, and I like a good bourbon. I like a good quality tobacco pipe. I don't buy cheap tobacco either, and I don't smoke. Actually, I can't tell you the last time I smoked because it's been so cold outside.
What? It's been cold outside?
Oh, yeah, it's been way cold.
I thought you were fat and loved it 50 degrees.
I like it because I don't sweat, but I'm not going to stand in it for... Smoking a pipe's not like a cigarette. You don't take 3 hits and put it out.
Yeah, you do.
It's like 30-minute...
You take 3 hits and then you tap it on your hand.
Tap it out. You can pack a pipe differently. But anyway, I tell them, I say, find a good bourbon you like with a splash of water, the way it should be, or like I like. I prefer it always on the rocks, and I tend to let it sit for a couple minutes so I get cold and I get the water.
You know what? I got a way for you to try it, and this is for everybody. When you order your bourbon, order it neat.
Right.
Order a glass of water, or not a glass of water, a glass of ice.
Okay.
Order the same glass. So when you order your bourbon, order it with a glass of ice on the side. Put all the bourbon into that glass of ice, stir it, and then for 2 minutes, just count it out for 2 minutes, take all the ice out of the bourbon,
right,
and then drink it.
Yeah, that'd be the same effect. Chill it and give it that splash of water.
You're gonna get it chilled,
it opens up that flavor,
and you're gonna get your splash of water at the same time. You're gonna get it watered down just enough, without continuing to.
And that's another
water
thing.
It down like my wedge glass is doing to.
And that's another
my
thing
Jefferson's Reserve.
To my friends that are just wanting to get into this or interested in get into it. Don't let anybody else press you into drinking something the way it's not even meant to be drank. Because some people say if you don't drink it neat, you're not drinking it right.
No, and drinking. If you
don't drink it, that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Right.
Bourbon. Because so many people say, "Man, I like bourbon and whiskey, but it burns. I have to drink it with Coke." Well, so they settle for a cheaper whiskey or bourbon. Then they're drinking a mixed drink. And to be honest, if you're on a nice business meeting or you're out on a nice date and you're getting a Jack and Coke, like we're not freaking 21 anymore, guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you want to get one, but if you want to enjoy a good bourbon or whiskey, find one you like and you use the water of the ice because that cuts the burn.
Absolutely.
It opens the flavors up. It gives it a bit more body to it.
Right. And a Jack and Coke is a party drink. That's a New Year's Eve drink.
I don't know anybody that drinks Jack on the rocks and sips it.
No.
They're either doing shots or they're mixing it with Coke.
And Jack makes, and to be honest, Jack Daniels makes a perfectly fine Tennessee whiskey.
They make a good one. Gentleman Jack's really good.
That is supposed to be good. I have never had it because I'm not a fan of Jack Daniels. Like of anything that they do.
Have you had the Gentleman Jack?
I've had it. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Okay.
It just turned. In honest to God, the person that got the bottle of Gentleman Jack, it just turned into a Jack and Coke for them.
Why get Gentleman Jack? Why
they didn't buy it? It was gifted to them.
That was
They tried it. They aren't whiskey fans. They tried it. They're like, oh, this was $150 bottle that was gifted to them. They bought it for $99, and then it was gifted to them. They tried it. I'm like, well, this isn't Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
this is
not a mixer.
This is Jack Daniels, not the shit you get at the store. This is better stuff. They're like, yeah.
It sounds to me like they don't like whiskey at all. They just like getting drunk.
They just.
I mean, let's be honest. The only way you drink alcohol is mixing it. You're only drinking it for the effect that it has on you when you drink so much of it.
That's exactly what it ended up being.
So, yeah. Which, I mean, that's fair. If that's your thing, do your thing.
So, but it was,
you shouldn't, but that's you. That's you. But if you're going to get gifted something like that, send it to us, and we'll send you the cheap stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Stillhouse. Yeah, moonshine in a gas can.
Ugh, moonshine in a jerry can.
So, yeah, I like trying to maybe these reviews will be good because we'll get to try some maybe we haven't tried, and
I'll definitely go out and buy stuff that I wouldn't typically buy.
Right, we can buy small bottles and not.
I'll buy smaller bottles of
I'm going to bring some stuff in too. I think.
Okay.
Stuff I know
and definitely, we'll have beers that
we'll have two categories. We'll have Martelle shelf.
Randy.
We'll have a Randy shelf.
Because I've got some high octane beers downstairs that'll.
Yeah, see, every time you have me try a beer, I'm just like, I don't even like finishing most of them.
Well, we're going to wrap this up here, but I've got one downstairs.
Like the pot beer, that was a gift. Somebody gave us a bottle each, just one bottle each.
And I went out and actually bought another two more 6-packs. They were amazing. So, and I've got 2 beers downstairs. I've got two cans of it. They're $9.99 a can. They're 16-ounce cans. They're 17%.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
They are dark as hell.
Chunky.
No.
I'd give it a shot.
They're sweet.
See, I like sweet. Is that the one with the pizza on the can?
That is the one with the pizza on the can. It is very sweet.
Why do they have pizza on the can?
Because it's made with money and beer. The theory is that Evil Twin brewed it with money and beer. Money and pepperoni.
Money and pepperoni, not money and beer. Okay.
Not money and beer. Money and pepperoni. That it is brewed with money and pepperoni.
Because the pizza on the can turns me off.
It's really good. And it is fantastic with pizza.
Maybe we'll review that next week.
So maybe we won't because they're $9.99 a can.
Well, this is more expensive than $9.99.
But we didn't drink $10, $20 worth of.
That's true.
Or $10 worth of bourbon right now. But I've got several of those downstairs where they're these 17% beers.
Man, that's a high beer.
They're high octane. But I've got to go buy more of them because they're hard to get.
Again, because I know not all of our listeners even drink alcohol, but if you don't drink beer, your average like Bud Light, Budweiser, things that you know
are 4.2.
Yeah, you're like between 4 and 6 at the tops for like the common ones.
Yeah, and I like
like Yingling, Guinness. Even you're not getting 17 out of any.
No. Yeah, I mean you may be getting up into 12s.
That's not the average. I'm talking about the white trashy beers.
Oh no. In your urinal beers,
Bud Light, Miller.
Yeah, the ones that they
High
actually
Life, Miller Lite.
Yeah, no.
Corona.
Like the stuff that I drink on the average is around 10 to 12, 9 to 12.
Well, that's because you're a hipster and drink the frou-frou beers.
I like my craft beer.
The fancy beers.
That's what I like.
You can have them. I'm interested more now that we've had this conversation. Maybe I'll pay $10 for one of them just so I can review it. And
we can go halvesies on them.
And that's fine, but I'm not a beer guy. I mean, I would drink it to give a review if that's what the listeners want.
You will find that there may be some. You will find there may be some
that I like
that you may enjoy, like the BrewDog. And I've got a beef with you fuckers. BrewDog
2.
That's twice. BrewDog made and like I said, we're at an hour here. BrewDog made a 12% beer.
Okay.
They wanted to charge $18.99 for this.
For a beer?
For a beer.
For a 16-ounce?
Nope. I have no problem paying $18.99 for a beer.
I do.
You may. I don't.
I'm poor. PWT right here.
I believe it was 12%. I have no problem paying for that. Where I have a problem paying for it was not a 16-ounce. It was not a 750 milliliter bottle that I usually would buy. It was a 12-ounce bottle.
That's 12 ounces is what you get in a typical like Pepsi can.
That's your tip. That's your standard bottle.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's your Coke bottle.
That I will not pay.
Well, no. I mean, a Coke bottle, most people think of the plastic kind, is 20 ounce.
That's the 20 ounce. I'm
So
talking your standard beer bottle. Glass beer bottle is 12 ounces.
Oh, is it? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Your standard beer can is 12 ounces.
$19 for that?
They wanted $19 for that at 12 ounces or at 12%.
Nope.
No. I did. Now, I get it for them. It's all in the name and it's all in whatever. Like I said, I've got 16-ounce cans downstairs.
So they say they have it. That's a status thing at that point.
It is.
That's bullcrap.
It is. But I've got 16-ounce cans downstairs for $8.99 and $9.99 that are 17%.
Expensive for a beer.
It is. But
that's like
for what you're getting out of it.
Sporting event prices.
But for what you're getting out of it, you're getting 17%.
That's true. You're getting a higher quality and a higher
You're getting a higher quality and a higher percentage than what Brewdog 10 minutes from this studio is producing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And a better quality, and they're coming out of New York, which means it has to be shipped. I drove to that brewery.
Somebody get us some Brewdog and we'll review it, but
it's gone. I was over there on Thursday.
That's crazy.
But I wasn't paying it. So
no, that's nuts.
It was stupid.
Well, I had stories and everything about what happened to me over the holidays, but we went straight bourbon on this.
We went straight bourbon on this.
Kentucky straight bourbon, which isn't bad if that's what the folks want. So we need more bourbon and beer reviews.
So we don't need them. They would like them.
Okay.
They would like more bourbon, more beer.
Well, if they would like, if that's what the fans want, then we need them.
So
we need more reviews, more news stories,
more
Urban Dictionary,
So
just more of what we've been doing.
More of what we've been doing,
mixing it up.
Yeah.
The biggest compliment I got last year on our show is, I feel like I'm hanging out with friends. I actually,
yeah.
Shout out to my friend Mitch,
here.
who will not hear this. I told you my buddy Mitch will not listen to anything over 10 minutes. He hates talk radio.
That's his own damn problem.
He listened to the 2 episodes with DJ on it because DJ was on it.
Well, DJ's coming back.
DJ's coming back for a few more episodes soon.
Yes.
That's all we're going to say right now. But he said, man, he said, I felt like I wanted to interject in the story. It's like I felt like I was there. I was hanging out with friends. So I think that's the coolest compliment we got last year.
That's
just
really
feel
good.
like I'm hanging out with friends.
At some point, I would love to be able to just have like a group conversation. Not just like you and I and DJ, or you and I and GW, or you and I and Garrett. Like, just be able to have
like 7, 8 people.
7, 8 people, and just be able to hand around a mic, because we're not going
to... We need to get the table set up downstairs where we can have people sitting around.
Yeah, but we're still going to have to hand off a mic. I mean, because I don't have a setup. I mean, I think it max...
pay for a huge setup to have 9 mics.
Yeah, I mean, I think at max I may be able to get 6 mics set up at a time.
What's funny is some of the guests we've had on the Hab podcast go, whoa, you got way more than we have. Like, we just plug into our laptop.
Yeah. But I think at some point I may be able to set up some of the boom mics to pick up and just be able to just do
kind of
like we'll have our mics, but then we can set up area mics and just do some other and pick up some other stuff. So, which would be kind of cool to be able to set up. So, but
yeah, that'd be great, man. I would love to have Mitch on this show.
Yeah,
he's seriously one of the funniest guys I know.
So, well, we can. That was the other thing.
I don't know if he'd come down here though.
It'd be great to be able. So one of the other things I would like to do, and because you can record primarily on Sundays, I can record pretty much
Saturdays, Sundays, or any evenings if I have advance notice.
So I can record any day of the week.
Yeah, you live here.
I know, it's my shit. So, but I'm going to try to do some other interviews. I'm going to make it a point to try to do some other interviews. I'm going to try to get out and hit up some of my buddies to do.
Well, we need to do
some off-topic style interviews.
So one of the podcasts I listened to is the last podcast on the left. 3 comedians, very vulgar, way worse than you, but they cover really interesting.
I'm
topics.
toning it down. I mean, I can step it up.
You've been really good. I'm proud of you.
It's because your mom's listening.
But your mom, is
dead.
Oh, she's probably listening then, is she?
She's listening to everything.
She sees you when you're sleeping.
She's downstairs.
That's where you buried her?
Her bones is grind up in an urn.
That's convenient.
Sitting downstairs.
So they have their regular weekly episode like we do, but then they do ones just called Side Stories and then put a title.
Well, say
like Side Stories. Martelle and Jeff, bourbon, whatever. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I think I'm going to do...
It's usually like a half hour, 45 minutes, hour, whatever, but it's something on the side.
I may do some fitness stuff. I may do some beer stuff on the side, some whiskey stuff on the side.
It's just more content for listeners.
And they maybe end up just being on the fly like, let's do this. Yeah. Like, here we go. So keep an eye out. Like, there's going to be some changes. Just in, not so much in the formatting, just when there may be just a, hey.
I feel like my picture's not even going to be in the logo.
It'll be there.
Real small in the corner.
It'll be tiny.
50% like the faded halfway.
That's the other
out.
thing. If you guys didn't notice,
Yes.
our Christmas cover had a new logo.
It did. Big shout out to Jamie Mosley. It's actually Jamie McLeese Designs. She is an artist out of Circleville, Ohio. She made us cartoons.
She did. She did it a while ago, and Randy's been on my ass for it. But I had to wait.
She did this back in the summer.
I had to wait till the perfect time to do it.
It was like June. When
I know, but I had to wait till the perfect time to do it.
So huge shout out to her. Go check her out. She does awesome art. She buys art from like thrift stores and repaints over them. So you'll get this vintage picture, and it'll be of like a boy fishing with a dog sitting next to him, and she'll paint like a UFO on it, or just like some odd, really cool, just like quirky stuff. But then she also does freehand drawings. Actually, some of the first gifts I got Beth when Huck was born was I sent her a bunch of pictures of Huck, and she would do different. Like she did one like all pencil, and it's all shaded and everything. She did one like gel pen. She did one, and just so we have all these little pictures of Huck. But instead of just printing them off and putting them in a frame, it's art.
It's art, yeah.
So check her out, Jamie McLeese. She's on Facebook and Instagram. Let me look it up to get the name right, and then I will shut up and we can get out of here. But I definitely don't want to butcher her name because she made us those logos. She was also I bartered with her. You know I hate paying for stuff.
Oh yeah, you're cheap.
So I'm poor. There's a difference.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know the difference.
Well, that's because
I drive an Audi.
An Audi.
I'm just kidding. Although so speaking of that, that's funny. One of our listeners, she was like, I said something. She goes, "So you really do drive an Audi? That's your Audi outside?" And I'm like, yeah, it is. Because I was on another podcast. I showed up for a live review or a live taping of a podcast and was in the studio audience of 3 for this podcast. And
I didn't know you're on another one. Cool.
Yeah, I showed up to support some friends of ours.
Oh, nice.
Mo and Bro at OMR and One More Rep podcast. If you're into CrossFit or any type of fitness stuff, go check out One More Rep podcast. Listen to Mo and Bro. Good stuff there always. But I showed up to listen to those guys and support them. Drove all the way out to Dayton.
Nice.
Took them some beer and some whiskey. 17% beer. And,
such a jerk.
I know. And
I'm just going to take it from your fridge when you're not looking.
And one of our listeners is a listener of theirs as well, and she's going to be starting her own podcast here shortly. And she's like, "Oh," she goes, "You really do drive an Audi?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do,
absolutely,
absolutely,
that was
absolutely."
Not a joke. So okay, it's Jamie McLeese. That's McLeese.com, or you can look her up at Jamie McLeese Art on Facebook. Awesome. Jamie is Jamie. I guess I should say that too. Jamie, get an easier name.
What's spelled properly?
Oh. I have so many notifications on Facebook, I just realized, you know why? Because I stopped at a stop sign on Marcy Road getting ready to turn here, and I thought, I'm going to put some up and see what happens. And all I put as my status is, I don't think Star Wars is that good. And
you got hate.
I have not yet looked at any. I looked at like 2 of the replies, but I'm sure there's just a slew of... Well, when I told people at Christmas time that I've never seen Die Hard or whatever, what's the Christmas movie one? The Nagasaki Tower?
Yeah.
Is it Die Hard?
It's Die Hard.
Dude, people lost their crap over that.
Oh, I know.
You're not a man if you haven't seen that movie. I was like, dude, it was so much fun. I got so much. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to watch it. From now on, my new Christmas tradition is just letting everybody know I still haven't seen that movie.
Wow.
I've seen the memes. I've got the whole premise. It's not a Christmas movie.
It is, though.
It's not. It happened at Christmas.
No, just
like last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
No.
It's
because even the movie studio came out and said it's a Christmas movie.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
What's the movie about?
It's about some shit that happened at Christmas.
But it's not.
And even
Christmas.
But even the studio, the writer, and everybody said it's a Christmas movie.
0 donuts.
Nope.
Haven't even seen it.
6 out of 5.
I'm going all way over.
I'm taking your 5 donuts and giving it a 10 out of 5. And with that, we are out. Thanks for listening.
Happy 2019.
Happy 2019. Send us an email if you have any comments.
Thank you.
Thank everybody for listening. Thank you for 2018. We appreciate everybody. All of our guests for 2018. Garrett King, suck me. Give me a blowy for never showing up except for one show.
Pretty good, and you got vulgar again. Right at the end.
Still haven't dropped an F-bomb.
You got
Only
two
the two.
F-bombs.
Only the two. So no one's drunk yet. Starting a new game. Every time I drop an F-bomb, take a shot. So keep track of that. I don't care. It's not my problem if they actually take a shot. Like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Still trying to be more active on Twitter.
The YouTubes.
Check us out on the YouTubes. I need Jenna Fisher, if you're listening. I need someone like you to take care of all of our social media stuff.
Oh, we definitely need a social media.
I need a social media person that's willing to volunteer.
I take care of mine for the foraging, and that takes so much time just for that one.
I take care of like everything for social media, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
I don't know who Jenna Fisher is, except she was the secretary Pam on The Office. But
yeah, she's amazing for OMR. She does a great job for One More Rep. So I need someone like
Let's get
Jenna.
her.
I need a Jenna.
We need somebody to be our social media point person.
Yeah. I need someone that wants to do it and not get paid.
We'll pay him.
We don't have any money.
No, leftover bourbon.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't go in the infinity bottle.
All right. So anyway, like, share, subscribe. Leave us reviews. We need reviews because that does help on iTunes, on Facebook, on Stitcher, on
Spotify,
on Donner, on Blitzen, on Spotify, on Cupid, on Comet, on
Radio. Are we on there?
I don't know if we are or not. I don't think so. On CastBox, wherever you can leave a review, leave a review. Tell us how great we are. Tell us how much we suck. Tell us how much you don't want to listen to us. And if that's the case, then don't listen to us. With that, we are out.
Peace.
See ya.